Do the Georgia Bulldogs have a three-headed monster at inside linebacker? That's the question that I have for you today. I'm not sure they do, but Xavier Sori Jr., a reserve backup linebacker in his third year at Georgia, he certainly thinks so. He's one of the guys that spoke with the media on Tuesday, I believe, and had some eye-opening comments. Now, if you don't know who Xavier Sori is, that's okay because he's not a guy who started. He is a former five-star, but he's been dealing with some injuries late in his high school season to early on in his Georgia career. So he's been banged up a little bit for the past 3 years. But he's a guy who's starting to play a little bit more. He's had 4 tackles so far this year and is one of the first guys in at inside linebacker, when they're putting new guys in, right? So he met with the media. Here's what he said. He was asked about using Jamon Dumas-Johnson and Small Munden, the 2 starters right now, how their early playing time and early success has motivated him. He said, quote, "We came in together, so just seeing them play, they motivate me. They push me hard and they want me to succeed. When we came in, we always said that we wanted to be the three-headed monster like Nakobe Dean, Quay Walker, and Channing Tindall." Those guys were unbelievable as a trio, right? Quay Walker's lighting it up at the Packers, had close to 20 tackles against the Falcons the other day. Another 4-star linebacker who had a long, athletic frame and knew how to tackle. Nakobe Dean, Butkus Award winner, he's doing his thing in Philadelphia. He's injured right now, but he's a guy who has started to take command of that defense. Channing Tindall, another guy who's a really good athlete, can run, can hit, made a lot of plays for Georgia that 2021 season. That's as good of a trio of linebackers, especially playing inside, that you're going to find anywhere college football anytime soon. Small Munden is really good. Former 5-star. I saw him play a lot at Paulding County. Played running back, played linebacker, but his size and his ability to run and his toughness, I knew he was going to be really good at Georgia. You just don't have guys who look like that, be able to run that way, and who know how to tackle. Jamon Dumas-Johnson, an out-of-state kid, kind of a low to mid 4-star. He wasn't this elite 5-star prospect, but that's a guy that the staff wanted, and they've turned him into a multi-year starter. He was the one saying at halftime, hey, trust your teammate, trust each other. We're going to be just fine. Of course, they shut out South Carolina in the second half, but Xavier Sori is extremely talented. He was a 5-star guy, and he was all potential, and if he had been able to stay healthy, I think he could have turned into a really good player. You could read these quotes over on Dog Post. The link is down below to sign up for our free newsletter. Make sure you jump on that. It's free. It's free. And this story that I wrote about is free. Make sure to check us out over on Dog Post. But he spoke a little bit more. Here's what he had to say. He was asked on the key to improving red zone defense to keep opponents out of the end zone. He said, "It's definitely our standard here when folks don't score on us. The coaches really harp on that. On Monday, we went to the doctor to clean everything up and watch film. We just get better and better by the day. And next week, try not to let anyone in our end zone." It's still really hard to run on this Georgia defense. That's been kind of a staple of a Kirby Smart defense, especially in Athens the last several years. You don't run on this team. Yeah, it's really hard to run on them, and especially getting into the end zone. They allow as few rushing touchdowns as anyone. Probably should have the numbers right here in front of me. I don't. I think I've made videos on this before, but nobody gives up less rushing touchdowns than Georgia year after year after year. They make it a point, and that's what he's talking about. They gave up did they give up a rushing touchdown against South Carolina? I think maybe one. I'm not sure. I'm blanking on the touchdowns. One was a screen. I think the second one might have been on a run. I think about it. But it doesn't happen often. He talked about getting pressure on Spencer Rattler. He said, "I don't feel like we do good enough. We don't want anyone to score on us. So as a whole defense, we didn't accomplish that goal. We're going to work on it this week and get better, grow from it and learn from it." It's funny, they asked him that. I actually spoke with a big-time Georgia linebacker from the Mark Richt days, a guy who won the Sugar Bowl. He's part of that 07 team, but he coaches high school football around here and went to check up on someone and asked him, I said, is there anything wrong with the Georgia defense right now? Is it still elite? Can they still get after the quarterback? And this is a pass rusher, right? He loved getting after Cole Brennan in that Sugar Bowl. But he told me that they're just not letting them loose. In his mind, he wants this Georgia staff to get after the quarterback a little bit more. He said, you got long, athletic guys like Marvin Jones Jr. We know Michael Williams is getting after the quarterback. He's got 2 already. Chaz Chambliss can get after the quarterback, but a lot of these young freshmen, he wants them to turn loose. Now they still, have to earn the playing time and, win a starting job if they want to really rack up the sacks. But he wants those pass rushers to just get after those outside linebacker edge types. He said, I want Kirby to let those guys run free and really start to attack. That's just something I haven't really noticed from this particular team. But Xavier Sori thinks that those three, and if you're Jalen Walker, he only has one tackle this year, but you got to be looking at him like, hey, well, yeah, I'm still here too. Let's make this a four-headed monster, right? But this is not the same trio as we saw 2 years ago. It's just not. And they're good. Small Monday could be a first-round pick. Jamon Dumas-Johnson, probably not, but I think he could play in the NFL. Xavier Sori Jr. has some work to do if he wants to play in the NFL. That's just how it is. But he is getting on the field more. He is playing more. He's making more of an impact. And he does flash here and there. He can deliver a hit. And he knows how to cover. He's got some length too. Just has to put it all together, stay comfortable, and just keep working and competing. They say how you work in practice determines how much you're going to play in the game. And I think Xavier Sori Jr. is a good case of that. So he's practicing better. He's competing harder. It's resulting in more playing time. And we're going to see more and more of him throughout the season. But I did want to talk about Zion Logue for a minute. He's the other guy that that met with the media. They asked him on the pride surrounding not allowing touchdowns. He goes, the number one thing we always speak about when we get in the red zone is not in our end zone. That doesn't matter if it's the first group out or the rotational guys. No one in our end zone. We just have to take pride in that week to week. We know that's where everyone is going to attack us right now, especially when they get down there. So we just have to stand on the 10 and really bow our necks and not let them into the end zone. Again, they do a great job of that. He's a big reason why. A senior veteran defensive lineman, he knows what the standard is, and it's not letting guys run on you in the red zone and not letting them into the end zone, especially on the ground. He said on the difference in red zone defense compared to the rest of the field, he said it's just the space is a lot tighter. It's not really a threat for shots, maybe a play action, but once people get down there, they're going to try to put the big guys in. We got to go bigger personnel, and they're just going to try to move us because it's the Georgia defense. They want to be able to say they ran it on us, and we know we have to stand on our principles and stand on our morals about that. We're getting into morals and principles here, right? Morally, they don't think anyone should be allowed to score on them. That's their thinking. That's what Kirby Smart has built into this defense and into this group. Hey, we're Georgia. You don't run on us. You don't get in our end zone. That's the way they think. That's the way they practice. That's how they go about their life. Is they're better than everyone else, and you're not going to score on them, and you're not going to run on them. They asked him on expecting a high volume of passes due to Georgia's historically tough run defense. He said, we talk about it throughout the week, but I think it really hits home when we get out there on Saturdays because a lot of teams might try to go play action shots or they might just start running a little just to keep us honest. But we know once that second, third series comes around, it turns into a lot of play action. They might run it here or twice sparingly, but we know a lot of teams will probably try to chuck it downfield on us. And you got to be ready to transition and let's get to the quarterback. And they've really turned it up a notch in the second half. Remember against Tennessee last year, they were down, so they had to throw the football. And Georgia said, we know you're going to throw the football. We're not going to let you. The rain came down. They sacked Hendon Hooker a billion times in that third and fourth quarter. So when they know a team has to pass, that's when they can let those pass rushers loose and get after them and turn up a blitz. And that's why you see a lot of, linebackers and safeties like Javon Bullard, who loves getting after the quarterback. That's when those guys are making big plays in the backfield and getting to the quarterback. It's usually when they're up, it's late in the game, and they know that no one's going to be able to run on them, and they can't really run the ball because, again, they're playing down. They have to throw. That's when Georgia lets loose and gets after the quarterback. And that's what he's talking about. It's so tough to do, but when two defenders speak with the media, they're like these guys, Xavier Sori Jr., I don't think this is his first time speaking with the media. Zion Logue is a veteran now. He's done this for a while, but they let it be known the impact that they want to bring on an opposing offense and their standard, right? The team has a standard, but so does this defense. And they say, hey, even with the second and third string in, don't let anyone score. Now, they haven't pitched a shutout yet. I think one might be coming. I'm not sure it's coming against UAB. That's a team who knows how to move the football. But, they take a lot of pride in what they do, especially when it comes to the scoreboard and when it comes to running the ball. They don't want anyone running on them, especially running into the end zone, and they talked a little bit about that today. So as far as the three-headed monster goes, I don't think Georgia's shown that just yet, especially when you're comparing them to that 2021 group, but it is talented, and these guys know how to play, and they're leading, arguably, once again, the best defense in college football. Guys, thanks for watching this video. As always, head on over to Dog Post. We want y'all to come from YouTube over to the site. Check out everything we have going on over there. Really appreciate it. Enjoy the next video coming up right now, and I'll see you over on Dog Post.